Welcome to the Camera Dude Podcast, where we focus our lens on business. We will cover the art of business and everything in between. Join your host, Rob Moorman, a seasoned photographer and RV park owner with over 27 years of experience, as he captures insights from industry experts and fellow entrepreneurs. From mastering customer service to igniting creativity, we explore the common threads that weave through successful businesses. Get ready to click, snap, and discover on the Camera Dude Podcast.
Welcome to the Camera Dude Podcast. I'm Rob Moorman, your Camera Dude and host. Join us today as we dive into all things business and life. Hey guys, let's get started. Before we go too far, don't forget to follow us on the Camera Dude Podcast Facebook page. Be a part of our community. We would love to have you. So today, guys, I'm joined by Dr. Ethan Supernant of Cerebral Chiropractic. We're going to discuss his journey into chiropractic care, building a successful practice, helping patients improve their quality of life, and some of the lessons he learned along the way. So welcome, Dr. Ethan.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rob.
Glad you're here. The crowd goes wild, right?
That's right.
I can hear the screams. All right, perfect. So before we go too far, rather than me introduce you, introduce yourself.
Yeah. So Dr. Ethan with Cerebral Chiropractic Center. I am a 2-year practicing upper cervical doctor, local to Pinellas County, local to Pinellas Park. I actually live like 2 minutes away from my childhood home, which is super cool.
Wow.
That my kids get to experience a similar life to what I grew up with.
Awesome.
Yeah. I went to SBC growing up too. That was my undergrad. I went to Osceola Fundamental.
Yep.
I was one of the last classes at Southside Fundamental down in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Before they closed that and it transformed into what it is today. Perkins Elementary before that. So I just local and Southside the whole
If you're going to go back that far, where was preschool?
Preschool was up here on 54th Avenue. It was St. Pete Prep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very familiar.
Yeah, my parents took me out on May 28th, which was my dad's birthday. So I graduated on his birthday. We went to IHOP. It's a great day.
Hey, all right, IHOP, you mean what a place to be healthy, or maybe not, but hey, it's good food.
Celebrations.
Yeah, that's right. So tell us a little bit too, what hobbies do you have?
Yeah, so
what do you do when you're not working, which is most of the time?
I'm a father of 3 at the time of this recording. Eventually more on the way at some point. I know
a doctor that can tell you what causes that if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Right. No, I'm kidding.
Never heard that one. So I hang out with my kids, take them to the park. I play basketball with some friends at the church.
Nice.
I exercise pretty consistently with a good crew that we have at the local gyms. Read, study, make sure that I'm on top of my game, and just learn whatever I can. And
I would imagine the continuing education in chiropractic is never ending.
Yeah. It depends on how big of a nerd you are. You know, some people like to be kind of stagnant in their growth, but good doctors aren't. And I would like to be a good doctor.
You are a good doctor already. Not like to be. You already are. I can tell. I can tell by speaking with you, and for my listeners, how Dr. Ethan and I met was through network professionals, npiflorida.org, I think it is. It's either org or com, but anyhow, I think it's org. So go there, check it out. It's a networking group if you're trying to build your business. He and I are in the same chapter together. We meet every Wednesday, so I see you again tomorrow morning.
That's right.
The day we're recording anyways. And get to network with, what is it, 31 right now?
No, we're at like 38 or
38?
So. Yeah, we're almost full. It caps out at 39, and we're 37 or 38.
Love it. Full house. That's what it's about. So tell me one other surprise thing, maybe those that do know you that'll listen to this in our chapter, about you that maybe we wouldn't suspect.
Yeah, so I don't know if you would suspect it, but I was a Ninja Warrior on NBC's Ninja Warrior show.
Nice.
I competed in 2018 on the show, but I did local comps and nationwide comps from 2017 to 2020 or so before I go off to chiropractic school.
Guys, you heard it right here on the Camera Dude podcast. We have world famous Ninja Man here.
That's right.
I love watching that.
It's incredible athletes on that show.
Oh yeah, you kidding? Because that is every muscle. I look at that and you know, I'm obviously older than you and this and that. I'm like, I don't think my body's going to do that anymore. Maybe it could, but in my mind anyways, it doesn't.
Sure.
Hey guys, real quick, a word from our sponsor. Looking for a peaceful getaway in the Florida Panhandle? Check out Sunburst RV Resort in Milton, Florida. Whether you're traveling through or planning a longer stay, Sunburst offers a quiet, family-friendly atmosphere surrounded by nature. Visit sunburstrvresort.com. And of course, I'm a little biased because, it's my park. So that's what the Camera Dude podcast is about, a photographer that also owns a RV park. Check us out there. All right, Doc, let's get back into this. What led you, first of all, to become a chiropractor? What was the motivation?
Yeah, it really is a long story. So when I was a kid, I grew up under chiropractic care. I've never known life without chiropractic care.
Awesome.
And the chiropractic that I grew up under wasn't traditional chiropractic by any means. I actually didn't know that part of chiropractic was making a cracking sound. That wasn't even the chiropractic I grew up under. I grew up under something called upper cervical chiropractic.
I've heard of this.
Very precise measurements of the upper neck. It's called the craniocervical junction. It's right where the head meets the neck. There's this bone called the atlas bone. These doctors, upper cervical doctors like myself, analyze this area, figure out what's going wrong biomechanically, adjust it accordingly. So I grew up under a technique that adjusts with a sound wave. So anytime I got sick, my parents took me to the chiropractor first. Every time I had a headache, my parents took me to the chiropractor first. Every time I had a bad attitude, my parents would take me to the chiropractor first.
Did it work?
Oh, they'd give me an attitude adjustment. It worked out really well. So
I love it.
So that was our primary care. Almost never went to a standard pediatrician. When we did, it was for our annual checkup because we kind of had to.
Right.
But it was primary care was the chiropractic office. And It was this upper cervical doctor local here in St. Pete. And
as you may or may not know, I haven't been to you. No particular reason other than my chiropractor I have a long-standing relationship with.
Absolutely.
God works in funny ways, but he had come into my studio on a Tuesday. I don't know, it was probably 10, 11 o'clock. We did headshots, and I knew him because, like you, I was born and raised here, and I knew Dr. Bond and a lot of similar friends in common and all of that. And he left. We did our photo shoot. He was happy, whatever. On the way to the Tampa Area Professional Photo Association meeting, I get rear-ended on the Howard Franklin. And so the girl and I pull off. There's a big hole in the front of her car. I had a big trailer hitch, so I was in it for the win. So I thought, before I got off the bridge, I couldn't feel the side of my face. So I was, okay.
That can't be good.
So, and oddly enough, I had his cell phone number because I had done business. And I said, hey, can you make a spot for me tomorrow? And I went on to my meeting, 2 Tylenol and a glass of wine. I don't know if that was good, but that's what I did at the time. And it seemed to at least curb it in the moment. Let's put it that way. It's not a solution. And I've been going to him ever since. So you mentioned upper cervical. I was also going to Dr. Al Comey. For quite a while. And I met him through Network Professionals, so that, I was in a different chapter at the time. And, sadly, he's no longer with us.
That's right.
So,
Passed a couple years ago.
And I think the practice is still there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's still located over there in Largo or so.
Glad to hear that. He was a great guy, and you want to talk about nerding out. That guy studied 24/7. And
brilliant individual.
He was. And I kept telling him, go on vacation.
Yeah.
Go on vacation. You're going to burn out. But, anyhow, life had other plans for him. So that part was awful. Well, okay, good. So you became a chiropractor because you've been around it and you had benefits from it, I'm guessing?
Yeah. So like I said, that was our primary care. And when I was in 6th grade, I was sitting in the office going to go home because I was feeling sick. And I just remember sitting there and saying, like, you know what, I should be a doctor. And the people around me, like the office staff in middle school was just like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, my parents are taking care of me. I should be able to be a doctor so I can take care of them too.
Interesting.
And that was it. That was the whole thought. That was the start and end of it. My mom came, picks me up, I go home. But I start thinking about that a little bit deeper. All right, so what kind of doctor do I want to be? Do I want to be a pediatrician? Do I want to be a dentist? Do I want to be an optometrist? What do I want to be? And optometry was kind of where I settled.
Okay.
And it was because I was so fascinated with the eye, the structure of the eye.
Yes.
And it was one of Darwin's doubts as far as his evolutionary theories, because the eye is so complex. So I said, you know what, that sounds like a great field. Well, I tried to make connections in the field in late high school and early college just to, like, can I see if it's a profession that I want to do? And the doors just kept closing. Just no opportunities open. I talked to a bunch of optometrists and it just never worked out. So I was complaining to my chiropractor. my gosh, I'm trying to become this optometrist, this doctor. I cannot get connected. I'm so frustrated. He's like, come shadow me. And I said, what? He's like, come shadow me. I call you doctor. Oh my God, you're a doctor. I should shadow you. And so we scheduled the day, we set up with the office, and I go in on that first day. And this was like the pivotal moment that locked in that I want to be a chiropractor. We walked in, first patient of the day, young girl, 9 to 10 years old or so, pale as a ghost, whitewashed. Wow. She was feeling faint. She was having a fever. Mom was worried about her. And so she had brought her into the chiropractor as her first stop, just like my mom did for me growing up. So it was weird being on the other side of this conversation now.
I love it.
And so I'm watching, and I watched the doctor analyze. I watched the doctor adjust with upper cervical. I watched her whole body light up. The fever broke. She colored out. She was went from pale white back to bright red as the blood restored.
Wow.
To big breaths, just super restored. Awesome. And I remember immediately, like, the rest of the day goes by. I leave, finishing the shadowing day, and I call my then girlfriend, my now wife. I said, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to have that moment over and over and over and over. And that was the moment that just settled everything. And I'm going to be a chiropractor. I'm going to be an upper cervical chiropractor.
All right.
I'm going to help people.
That's a rock story right there. Yeah. I love that. And I also see a little guidance from above, which we can talk about a little later.
Very much so.
Absolutely open to that door.
You want to know something crazy about that too?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that chiropractor that I shadowed that day,
yeah,
that's my current boss at Cerebral. That was Dr. Chris Lininger.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've met him.
He was kind of fresh and out of school almost at that point too.
All right.
So it's cool.
Life is what a small world that
it is.
You know?
It is, circles all the way back.
It was meant to be.
Very much so.
Cool. All right. So what makes your practice different? I mean, you've mentioned it, but actually dive in. Let me, for my listeners, you guys know I like to input just a little bit in that. There's different types of chiropractors. We've mentioned a few. Mm-hmm. And then there's certain chiropractors that have the same knowledge, but maybe they don't apply it as well as you might versus another. Because I went through 4 chiropractors before I found one that was actually helping me, and then I stayed.
Oh, right on.
So talk a little bit about that. Why is your practice different, and what would it be that, would draw someone in to come back repeatedly once to get whatever problem is healed, and then maybe maintenance from there?
Yeah, so with chiropractic, there's so many different disciplines within it, specialties within it. No one really talks about that because it's just kind of the field of chiropractic. But in the same way that, like, some mechanics are really, really good at engines, some mechanics are really good at AC, some mechanics are really good at wheels and things like that, there's different sub-disciplines within this overarching field. At Cerebral, our big focus is how can we get to, one, the root cause of the condition, and how can we collaborate with other providers in that space. We deal with really complex stuff, headaches and migraines, dizziness, vertigo, MTBIs, dysautonomias, these like multiply faceted conditions. And one thing that we take great pride in is digging really deep into what's driving the condition, so we can know how much of it is a chiropractic issue and how much of it is something else that needs to happen. I would love to say that chiropractic and or nutrition or exercise are all one-stop shops, but they're not. It's a collaborative healthcare field. We need all of it.
Agreed.
And we need all of it all the time to make sure that we can have the best health potential. And at Cerebral, we're very, very, very proud of that collaborative approach, making sure that we work with incredible professionals around the area and then build our skills to handle our side of the healthcare conversation the best way possible.
So, Ethan, I think we'll probably do this again at the end, but if someone's listening right now and they've got their phone in their hand and they're going to look you up, how do they find you?
Yeah, so the best way to get to Cerebral would be cerebralchiropractic.com. cerebralchiropractic.com, or you can email us at care@cerebralchiropractic.com.
Love it.
Phone number 727-677-0001.
Okay.
That's the best way to make that happen.
I'll make sure to put that in the show notes.
Absolutely.
As well, so that'll be
Thank
cool. Hey, on another note, what I like about you is you're very down to earth. You're young, you're energetic, you're healthy yourself, and I don't know, you're a great vice president in the networking group. You're
appreciate that.
On the ball. I love your energy, so I wouldn't see why someone wouldn't go to you. And I know that the amount of commitment you have to our networking group spills over even stronger into your business, your career, and your personal life too. I see that. So just a little plug on my part.
I appreciate that.
And from what I see, trust me, you wouldn't be here, right?
That's right.
This is the Camera Dude podcast. Is about business. Some crazy guy that has 3 businesses, a podcast, a photography studio for 30 years now, and a RV park that was my father's, but I've owned it for 12 years, 12 or 13, something like that. And so running 2 awkwardly different businesses.
I was going to say, it takes a lot of different lessons throughout all of those different things to learn, different revenues, different models, there's different clientele.
I'm in 2 different associations. I'm in PPA, Professional Photographers of America, which is world renowned. It's the longest running and largest photo association worldwide to date. Very modern. Yeah, it's been around a long time, but they have kept up with all that they need to and then some. And then now I'm in the Florida, Alabama RV Park Owners and Managers Association, which is part of a national group too that I'm part of. And yeah, so it's 2 different worlds. But oddly enough, when I go to the RV Park Owners Convention, who's their photographer? Well, me, of course.
Makes sense.
I'm like, I got to be here anyway. So I put in a plug and ended up doing that.
That's fun. You get a little bit of left brain, right brain action between your 2 industries there.
Yes, I do. And sometimes they come together.
That's right.
They just do. So it's a fun thing. All right, share a little thing, maybe some patient stories. Obviously, no names, but I want to hear some success because there might be somebody out there questioning this. You know, you've heard stories, a chiropractor hurt someone or this or that or whatever. And so debunk all that because I know it's not true. I go regularly, just, for my listeners, So what are some of the most rewarding transformations, I can't speak today, you've seen in your practice?
Yeah, that's an incredible question because there's so many that we get to see day in and day out. And even the littlest successes mean a lot to people. So we have one young lady we've been caring for a while. She's got a condition called POTS. Yep. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's one of the category. It's a condition within the category of dysautonomia, which is where your automatic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, rest or digest, it's not quite working cohesively. POTS is one of those. Ehlers-Danlos EDS syndrome is one of those. MCAS is one of those. She's got a lot of these things at the same time. Go ahead.
It's just interesting that you mention it because I just listened to a podcast with Gary Brecka. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
And he was on that
biohacker
topic. Yeah, he was on that topic. The whole podcast was just...
it's really making a lot of noise recently. But there's not a lot of clarity in the medical field, in the holistic field, as far as like what's driving it. Tons of theories, but not a very clear, definitive approach. And even in 2026, they released new guidelines for it from the medical perspective. And still, we're still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But this young lady, what's nice is we get to see the results. So this young lady, she's got POTS. She's got some of these other conditions with it too. And she was unable to even cook a meal herself.
Wow.
Because she was so debilitated by the condition.
Okay.
And so recovery from these chronic diseases takes a while. So we're trying to market by little steps. What's the little steps? What's the little wins that we can take, that we can hang on to, that we know we're moving in the right direction? And she went from not being able to cook a meal to being able to cook 3 meals a day.
Wow.
She can feed herself now.
I love that.
So she's not recovered yet, but she's on the route and so excited about these little bits that have
What is
moved.
the time frame in that? The approximate.
Yeah, so we started seeing, so she went from no meals to about 3 meals after about 60 to 90 days of care. After having this problem after she had 6 concussions over her life. She's young. She's like 19 years old.
Oh, no.
6 concussions over her life. And it's just been getting progressively worse. So this is the first time we've been able to slow that train, stop it, send it the right direction.
I love that.
So she's super hopeful. So that's one of the ones like still en route, still making good progress. One of my first cases, if I can share this one with you.
Yeah,
little
please.
2-year-old. No speech milestones. And she'd been working with a speech pathologist for, I think, 6 months at the time. Okay. And I took care of her dad and I took care of her mom at this point. Her mom also had dysautonomia too. So this young girl, no speech milestones, working with the speech pathologist, couldn't quite make the sounds that she needed. She couldn't move her mouth the way she needed. She could understand language because she was doing sign language at the time. But they were just like, maybe you can help. Maybe you can do something with this. And logically, the mouth is controlled by nerves in the brainstem. The brainstem is surrounded by the upper neck. Yeah, probably if we do an atlas adjustment, I bet something will change. So I adjust this young lady. And the day goes by, we finish the normal working day. I go home, and her mom and my wife are friends. So we get the text, and we screenshot it. We have it. It's a great memory. It's just like, you'll never believe this. I don't know what he did, but she's speaking now. She's saying all of those words, and she's like talking. So one of my first early cases was this young girl who no speech milestones can now talk.
That's miraculous.
Blew my mind.
I love
right
it.
away.
That is awesome.
And then one more. If I could show these all day long.
That's what we're about.
This one lady came in. Her friend had gotten incredible results, and so her friend drags her in kind of reluctantly, but she was dealing with something called fecal incontinence. And so she was elderly and having to wear a diaper at this age. But she was not without her cognizance. Like, she was so smart, but something was not working digestively.
So mentally she was 100%.
Yeah,
but
brilliant. Like,
gut issues somewhere.
Something like that. And they had done detoxes. They had done medical route. They had done herb route. They had done dietary changes, gluten intolerance, all these things. They had tested everything. No answers. Couldn't figure it out. And I sat down across from her and I was like, I've never seen this before. I have no idea if I can help you, but we're going to do everything we can to figure it out.
Awesome.
And so she just felt enough peace to trust me on that. I said, okay, let's go for it. And so we started our test. We figured out that she had an upper neck misalignment. It was affecting her posture. It was affecting the way her hips worked, the way her legs worked, the way her arms worked, the way her back was working. We found our images. We got the adjustment. We did some other therapies to make sure that the little gaps in the spine where the nerves come out and go to the organs were functioning. And I think hers was actually a much more rapid recovery. About 45 days into care, we checked in with her, and like we're seeing her regularly, but I don't always ask. I don't always ask the right question to get them to tell me exactly how they're doing.
That's a science in and of itself.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, so let's pause for a second. How are we doing? And she's like, oh yeah, I haven't worn a diaper in like 2 weeks. I'm like, why did you tell me that?
I love that.
Holy cow, that's so cool. Are you excited? Yeah. She's like, yeah, actually I am excited. I'm like, this is great. And she's had no issues since then on that avenue. So we actually got to the root of her problem. It was a true neurologic dysfunction.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tell you, as your friend, you need to share some of that as your network professional's 30-second.
Got it.
You have to, because people need to hear that. Otherwise, they're not sure. And of course, you've heard it here at the Camera Dude podcast first, right?
I'll just play the Camera Dude podcast for
the
rest of my
Please do.
The rest of my commercials.
I love that. All right. So we've talked about how necessary it is for issues and how they possibly could be solved through you, along with a collaborative effort of others and all of that. What about like this lady? She went through all of that. She's good now. How important is preventative maintenance care on a regular basis with you?
Yeah. So
where does that fit? Because let me explain it real quick. Please. I always hear people when I tell them I go to a chiropractor, they always say that, those guys just want you to come back and back and back and make money. And my joke is, he's on my podcast, Dr. Bond, as well, early on. And my joke is that the kids are about to graduate from the private school they're in, so he keeps having me come back in, and it's a joke. I say, time to pay for school, is it? The truth is I walked in on my own, and I want to be there, and I make my own following appointment. And it's vital to me. Now, I don't mind sharing my age. I'm 60 years old. Mm. So at 60, keeping everything in alignment has kept me moving and allows me to work the way I work still. Without it, I couldn't. So how important is that for your customers, especially if they've had an issue?
Yeah, well, I think it actually stems from a misconception of why anyone does anything, right? Why would you hire someone to trim your trees? Why would you hire a personal trainer at the gym? Why would you hire someone to handle your ad agency for your company? They're all going to ask for money again. Like, that's part of business, is to in order to help people with the problem you're trying to solve, you have to ask again for the money. Like, that's just going to happen. That's what medical professionals do too. It's not unique to chiropractors.
No.
It stems from a misunderstanding of why do anything. When it comes to chiropractic, one of the huge misconceptions is that we are a pain doctor. You go to a chiropractor, you get your neck cracked, pain goes away. And then it comes back a little bit later, so you go back and get adjusted again. But that's not what the current research, especially out of New Zealand, is showing. the current research for chiropractic is that we are making neurologic changes in the brain itself. When you do a chiropractic adjustment, at the moment of impact, it uses neural pathways to signal to the brain to make better sensory changes to the body,
All right.
which means it's getting better information from the body to make better executive decision. Essentially, it's like having an employee who's been speaking in gibberish the whole time you hired them. Don't know why you would have hired them in the first place, but they're speaking in gibberish the whole time. Then you finally get a translator. You now know everything you're saying. Now you can solve every problem that they brought to you over the last year.
So it's freeing up a pathway of communication.
That's it. That's what's going on. And by doing that, the brain can make better decisions on how to heal the body. Right? I don't heal the body. No medical professional heals the body ever. The body heals itself to the best its ability can.
Love that.
If you get a cut, easy example. If you get a cut, you put that Band-Aid on it. Is the Band-Aid the thing that heals the cut?
No.
Is the Neosporin the thing that heals the cut? No, the body closes that wound. It stops the infection and it closes it up.
Right.
Regardless of what I do, that's what's supposed to happen, provided it has the right nutrients and provided the brain can find the problem in the first place.
And take care of it.
If your hand is numb and you get a cut, might not be able to find the problem the same way.
So I think this next question just automatically fits perfectly. I'm going to read it right from my notes.
By all means.
Explain the relationship between the spine and overall health. You kind of did, but give us a little more detail about that.
Easy parallel. Spine health is brain health. It's that simple.
Wow.
The way the brain receives information, first it has to go from all of these peripheral nerves. And like it starts centrally. When you're formed as an embryo, the first thing that happens is the notochord, which is the earliest form of your spinal cord, forms.
Wow.
So that starts to determine what exactly has to happen to help this embryo become a full baby. Arms, legs, toes, everything in the right places.
Love it.
Right? So spine health is brain health. When the brain sends a signal down to the body, it has to be a clear signal. When the body sends a signal back to the brain, it has to be a clear signal. If there's a disconnect, a traffic jam at any point, because of misalignments in the spine, because of stressors on the nervous system, it won't get the right information. It won't give the right instruction, and the body will be slower to heal, slower to adapt.
So in my simple photography mind, similar to a kinked hose.
Very
where
simple.
the water is coming out slowly, you go over and open the kink, and now it's flowing fully. And so by making these adjustments, something's pinched, kinked, cramped somehow, or crimped, I should say. And when the adjustments take place, that causes freedom in information flow.
Yeah. Okay. And it is a little bit less like, just to make sure that I'm clear on the science of it, it is not actually a pinched nerve is what's happening.
Okay.
It's a distorted nerve signal. Huh. Just because I have to be precise with the language I'm trying to use, and there's very little currently to support the actual pinched nerve, hard bone, soft nerve kind of model. It can happen through something called double crush syndrome. It can happen through nerve impingements. You can have soft tissue pressing on a nerve itself. It's just a lot less common, and it's not often what the chiropractor is actually doing.
Okay.
Chiropractor is doing a adjustment to give sensory input to the brain, which then changes the brain's perception of the downstream effects.
Wow. So
that's the more accurate. Yeah, that's
starts at the top and works its way down.
That's the reason why we call it cerebral chiropractic, right?
Makes
brain.
sense. Yeah. It's above my pay scale. So, hey, I can tell you about f-stops and shutter speeds and depth of field and stopping action, blurring action, all of those things, but not that. All right. So we've talked about this a little bit, but I want you to go into depth.
Please.
What can you say to ease someone's mind that may be nervous about seeing a chiropractor? So they've never been before. They hear you talking. Certainly have had great results from what we hear. And now someone's considering this, but they're nervous, not just from the money, but maybe hit on that a little bit and see how that works in the world of chiropractic. But also, for goodness sake, maybe you heard some horrible, 1 out of 20 billion, someone got hurt. And it was, a chiropractor that maybe shouldn't have been practicing or whatever. But in general, that's not the case. So how do we free people's minds to come and see you?
Yeah, I mean, one of the easiest kind of things at peace is like if you go to a dentist and that dentist does not a great job on cleaning your teeth,
right,
you're not going to stop going to dentist for the rest of your life. I do not advise you to stop going to dentist for the rest of your life. Like go to the dentist, let them take care of you. If you have one bad mechanic, you're not going to swear off mechanics for the rest of your life unless you're going to do your own repairs.
Right.
So you kind of need those professionals in your life. It just might not be the right fit for you. Like if that specific chiropractor or that story doesn't resonate with you, find someone who's in the same field, does a similar thing, but might actually relate to you better. What is unfortunate is there's not enough chiropractors to serve the populace to the number. Like, we have more people out there than chiropractors can possibly serve. But we're having a lot more people go into chiropractic school, come out, and the models that they're teaching in chiropractic school are getting so much better, and their approaches are getting so much better. Awesome. Chiropractors are becoming so much smarter. They're having better research to back these things up, that the chiropractor from 40 years ago might have a completely different approach than a modern day chiro. And so the current chiro approach, there's very little risk altogether. As far as injury, we're trained very well to not produce injury, and there's a lot of low force techniques to allow that for people. But really, you can be at peace that if the chiropractor you are bringing into your healthcare team, if they resonate with you person to person, they're not just trying to make a buck, which most aren't. If there's any, I haven't met them. I really haven't met that guy. You can have peace that gut feeling that you're having. You're probably on point when you have the right guy. That peace you feel in the office, you got it right.
And I get that, because this is a business podcast, and a practice is a business.
Very much so.
You have overhead and liability and insurance and employees and utilities.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. You bring the insurance point up. Chiropractors have like the lowest malpractice insurance of all time.
Really?
Yeah. As far as like medical professionals go, as far as healthcare professional goes, I think my first year I paid like $500 for malpractice insurance.
And that's it.
Yeah. And so, and insurance likes making money.
Yes.
Based on risk. So if we were a high risk category of individual,
right,
they'd charge us thousands and thousands of dollars. They don't. We must not be a high risk.
Makes perfect sense. That's, you know what, you capped that off. That's the icing on the cake for someone that was thinking about it. Let's see. All right, here's the deal. Let's go into health and wellness a little bit.
Sure.
You're fit. You look like you work out, run, swim, whatever it is you do. What simple habits can people adopt today to improve their health? What are you doing personally?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that anyone can do is to just start somewhere. Just start somewhere. What'll happen in the fitness industry, in the healthcare industry, is there are so many possibilities, and all of your friends are going to have a different avenue as far as what can you do to get in shape. But what if your first friend wants to be a bodybuilder, your second friend wants to be a Pilates athlete? Those are two completely different training styles. So picking what you actually value, what you enjoy, you can get in shape doing almost anything.
Okay.
You really can. And it only takes around 40 minutes a day. The rest of the hours of the day the rest of the in shape comes from the other choices you make throughout the rest of the day. If you sit there and eat 5 Ben & Jerry's ice creams every day for 20 years.
I'm
not calling you out there.
Spot. No, you're not. So go ahead.
So if you're eating 5 Ben & Jerry's every single day, that'd be 200 plus grams of sugar. It's so much sugar. That'll set you back. But if you're saying like, you know what, today's Tuesday, I'm going to eat 1/2 of a pint of Ben & Jerry's. Next week, I'll finish the rest of it. And then you make great choices the rest of the week.
Right.
There's almost no way you can screw it up. For 20 minutes, if anyone's ever tried to do 20 minutes of burpees, you'll find out how insane of a workout it is. Yeah. You don't have to train for 2 hours a day. Pro athletes have to train 2 hours a day. The average Joe really doesn't.
If this was a video podcast, I'd have you doing burpees right here.
That's right.
Just so we could show it.
I've done 20 minutes of burpees, and it's not a fun time. You got to tap into something dark there.
I have done that, and power cleans and all that. Yeah. I had a roommate who listens to this podcast, and he's a power lifter. And here I am, this wimpy little guy. We were roommates way before marriage. And he would teach me how to power lift, which was hilarious because he'd have 4 or 5 plates. And I'd have my bar with, these little plates on there or whatever.
Sure.
But I was doing the same workouts, obviously not the same weight.
That's it. I did a talk on this a while ago, and it was your goals should align with the choice. Like your choices should align with the goals you're trying to have. Nice. If you just want to be in shape, you need to get a little bit tighter on that. What does it mean to you to be in shape? Is being in shape to you running a 5K? Running a marathon, just running a mile, just walking around the block? Is you're in shape being able to dunk a basketball, being able to spike a volleyball? Is you're in shape being able to get on the ground and play with your kids or grandkids? what does your in shape look like?
Love that.
What I will say is that every human on earth, until the day they die, should be able to squat up and down from a toilet.
Right.
So you got to have some level of fitness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You should never neglect your body. So as far as fitness goes, just start, pick one thing. What's so wonderful is beginner gains are so real. As far as nutrition, so if you just start out with anything. You're going to make progress.
I'll give a little plug for a friend of mine. His first name is Jack. He owns the Exercise Coach in St. Petersburg.
Oh, Jack's an awesome guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Jack
you
Sorensen,
know.
right?
All right. Yeah,
Jack Sorensen. Love Jack.
And Jack.
You been on this yet?
No, it's Jack Pilal. I get Pilhal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Different Jack. But he owns, it's on 290 9th Street North, and it's called Exercise Coach. There's 2 in the area, so it might be another Jack.
It's the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I don't have a lot of time. I got 3 businesses, family life, church life, I'm slammed. You go there and it is 25 minutes to the T. You show up, they run you through this circuit with really safe machines. They're piston-oriented machines that you push against.
I remember who you're talking about. Yes. You actually put me in contact with that guy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a cool guy.
That's right.
That's
I
a
did.
cool guy.
Yeah. And they, without them, I couldn't work the way I work, and so it's changed me quite a bit. And
Those cameras get heavy after a few hours.
they laugh at me because I don't change clothes. I come in my work clothes. I might even be dressed up. I work out. I leave. It's 20 minutes. I don't want it to be any longer. So if I have to go and change clothes and then change back into my clothes, I just go, I work out, I get out of there. And darn it, if I'm not seeing changes, because I am.
Yeah, well, the struggle is there's this huge insurmountable checklist that everyone's given from social media tips, from trainers, from ads around the area. It really is as simple as just starting, picking a habit, adopting it, getting a little better at it, go on, add the next one.
One of the things I've noticed, I had some health scares, so I started losing weight and doing this. It's a long story, but 10,000 steps a day. I'm food prepping.
There you go.
80% of the time. Sometimes I get slammed, and so I run to the big health food store down the street here, or Rollin' Oats, which is more my favorite, and I'll get a salad and a piece of salmon grilled, and that's my meal. But usually I food prep all that and put it in the fridge up to 5 days, and it lasts, and there's a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner.
Right on.
And we come home, and it makes my wife eat healthy, which always isn't easy, by the way. She's a cheeseburger eating, let me tell you.
Hey, cheeseburgers can be healthy. That's a protein. That's a fat.
True.
It's got carbs in the bread there.
True.
It's got vitamins if you put the vegetables on it, like tomatoes. Oh, there's a fruit.
Yeah, that's true.
And lettuce and onion. You can make that good. You make it at home. Now all of that, you know exactly what's in it. Cheeseburgers aren't inherently unhealthy.
What I found in my journey that provided health was abstinence. Just stop. Stop eating what you want. No more adult beverages, very far and few. We went to France. I had some wine. We're in France. But I hadn't had any for a year before that. I stopped. And since I've been back, it's 2 months now, a month and a half, I've had none. And I don't want it. And I don't want the sugar and all of that, the refined. And I was concerned about restaurants with all the food oils, and also I stopped eating at restaurants. Minimal
Sure.
celebration with friends.
That's the thing too, is people are always looking to try to be perfect, and that if they can't do it perfectly, they're not going to do it at all.
Right.
And that's such a fallacy. If you can get it right 80% of the time, you're going to crush it in the long run.
I love it.
If you happen to only be 50% right, 50% wrong, a little bit harder, but you can still make it happen if you have a little bit of progress. 60-40, you can still do it.
Are you ready to escape the hustle and bustle of the city and experience a taste of old Florida? Welcome to Sunburst RV Resort, your oasis nestled in tranquil woods and surrounded by picturesque farmland. At Sunburst, we offer modern amenities with a touch of rustic charm. Enjoy our 2 pools, our clubhouse, our game room. It's perfect for families and winter guests seeking refuge from everyday life. With full RV sites and hookups, cozy cabins, and spacious tent sites, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a snowbird seeking solace or a family looking for summer fun, Sunburst is your destination for peace, quiet, and country living. And the best part? We're just an easy country hour away from beautiful beaches and a few minutes away from the majestic Blackwater River. Explore nearby quaint towns, indulge in some shopping, and savor delicious meals at local restaurants just a scenic drive away. Escape to Sunburst RV Resort and make memories that'll last a lifetime. Book your stay now and experience the beauty of old Florida.
So, a couple of questions then. Let's go back. What role does nutrition, exercise, and sleep play in overall wellness?
Yeah, if you have to choose between those three things,
Okay.
exercise, nutrition, and sleep.
Okay.
Yes.
Sleep.
If you
So
can,
that's on the top.
the reason why is if you can dial in your sleep, you can actually dial in your recovery. Right? If you're exercising all day long, every single day, you will not be able to recover at all. So you need to sleep. Okay. As far as nutrition goes, you can eat super healthy, but you're still awake. Your brain will crash at some point. You have to get good night's sleep.
Right.
If you strive for a good night's sleep, not a lazy kind of sleep where you sleep all day, every day, and don't do any work.
No, right.
You get a good night, 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Some people work well on 5. Some people need 9. There's a range. But if you strive for a good quality sleep, you're going to make a lot of better choices around the day. You're going to eat better. You're going to exercise rightly because you're going to have energy that needs to get out. So you'll choose to exercise.
I love it.
You're going to need to get good sleep. So you're going to need foods that balance you. So you're full through the night, not starving, recovering from whatever exercise you've done. And the best time to recover is during a good night's sleep. So if we can hierarchy it that way, but then all of that coming from my neurologic perspective, got to make sure everything's in tune because all of those 3 pillars affect the brain.
Wow.
Prioritize even higher than the sleep, prioritize neurologic health. If your whole goal is having a good nervous system health, a good ability to go into fight or flight when it's time, rest and digest when it's time, rather than being stuck in that fight or flight all day long, prioritize your neurologic health and everything else will really fall into place.
I love that. All right. That's it. We could close the podcast. That was a pretty good nugget. Sleep is my problem. I work a lot.
Yeah.
And as a photographer, it's a rock and roll lifestyle. I mean, we do schools. Well, I'm up at 5 in the morning, but we also photograph corporate events, and sometimes they're 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm up at 5:30, loading the car and going to a school. And man, by 2 o'clock, there's nothing left of me. But I usually have another shoot around 4, magazine cover or whatever, and I've got to go do it. So I know that sleep is important. And
I think what's a misnomer as well is that you have to get that 6 to 8 hours in one line.
Right.
It has to be unbroken 6 to 8 hours, which is not entirely true either.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, you can get 6 to 8 hours over the course of a day. And as long as you're cycling through the different stages of sleep, you're likely going to end up in a really good spot. Probably can't keep it up for overly long.
No.
But if you can do that, you'll make it through the week for sure. And then you get to one good rest day, you'll pull it off.
Let's take a nap. We'll be back in a minute. I'm just kidding. All right. So another question for you, because, you turn on TikTok or whatever social media platform you're surfing, which you should be out exercising instead, but we all do it. Gosh, so many health trends. And so many millions of things that might be good. Grounding mats. If you go on TikTok, it's grounding mats.
Sure.
24/7, which I think is a good thing. But which brand is the real deal and which one is just selling you something on TikTok to turn numbers? So what health trends concern you the most?
All of them. But
Okay.
But it stems, again, it's what's the root? Why would there be health trends that concern me in the first place? It's a misunderstanding of what's physiologically normal.
Okay.
If you put someone in a building surrounded by fluorescent lights, Wi-Fi, stressful work environment, deadlines all day long, high-pitched noises all day long, your break time is sitting and scrolling. Your input is stressful news, yellow journalism all day long.
Right.
You take that person and tell them to be healthy and stay calm. There's no possible. You don't stand a chance. We can't pathologize things that are not normal in the first place. Right? Someone has ADHD because they're overworked. Yeah, they're gonna have ADHD. There's no chance. They're not standing a chance.
Right.
If you can build good habits in your life, you don't need the biohacking stuff. You'll land in a really good spot. As far as grounding mats go, we only need them because people don't get outside to the beach anymore. People don't get outside of the grass anymore. Grounding mats just replace what's already done outside. Touching a tree, touching grass, going and having a picnic.
So take your shoes off and go to the park and walk around.
Yeah, shoe soles are rubber. It's insulating.
Right. So take them off.
Yeah, if you're on a grounding mat, you're gonna use if you're gonna be barefoot on a grounding mat.
Right.
Go barefoot outside. Enjoy the sun, and then you get the sun that comes with that too.
What I love now about the younger folk, if you will, coming up under me, I hate to sound like that, but it's true, is I see them in the park with their shoes off, intentionally walking on the ground and grounding themselves and doing all of that. my generation, nice people will do anything for you, but you also better get out of our way. The old Gen Xers, that's how we are. That's how we were raised. But we never slowed down. We rode that boat 1,000 miles an hour, and there's a lot of health and sickness and mental, for that matter, health as well.
Yeah, it's an easy trap to get into. Like I said, if and I'm not saying prioritize your mental health at the expense of hard work.
No.
Right? You part of mental health is overcoming hard things. You should put yourself in controlled hard thing environments. That's the point of the gym. That's the point of having a diet where you're actually regimented and you're sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. The more you do hard things, the more the brain develops to adapt to hard things. There's a section of the brain called the mid-cingulate gyrus, I believe is what it's called.
Okay.
The more hard things you do, the bigger that gets. The bigger that gets, the easier it is to do hard things.
Nice.
There the cycle goes.
So we need to be challenged all the time.
Have to be challenged.
Okay.
And challenge can look like discipline, adding new habits in, sticking to those habits over the long run, limiting the bad influence. Those are all challenges that have to be overcome.
For me, when I got in the photography industry, the only tech that changed would be new lighting systems, or the film itself was changed. It got better. It did different colors or whatever. But now, and I'm doing it, we have the latest cameras and all of that, but that tech changes every 6 months. And so the challenge for me is my mind having to figure out how to use all of this and keep up. And will it benefit my business, or can I skip this change and get on the next one?
That's right. Go to each generation. Do you have to stick with each one, or do you can skip over a couple and get to it? Yeah.
And I used to teach that because the cameras are expensive, and if you're trying to make a buck, and this is your living, not your hobby, the difference between pros and hobbyists, my hobby friends come to me, hey, did you see the latest Nikon Z8i, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't go look until I need a camera.
Sorry, I was too busy working.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I'm trying to put money in my pocket. And so if I chase the tech, when I get new tech, it's because the files are no longer satisfying my client's needs or something of that nature. Otherwise, I work in manual. I don't care about all those functions anyway.
And that's one of those hard things, right? Being able to say no to things that are not actually beneficial to your body, to your business, to your emotions, to your relationships, right? They put strain on you. Saying no to things that are not in the long run beneficial, that builds that mid-cingulate gyrus. It gets things stronger. It gets you more capable to handle hard things. Yeah.
Love it. And sometimes saying no is just absolutely okay.
Yeah. My kid's going to touch a hot stove. I should say no.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. I love that. Well, all right. Let's see. Leadership and life lessons. You're an entrepreneur and a doctor. What has entrepreneurship taught you? What is some of the challenges there, and what have you learned most? You say you're 2 years in. Basically.
2 years in. No, I'll be honest. I don't own the practice. I'm an employee of the practice. I'm an associate, absolutely. But what's interesting about being in the healthcare field to make the impact that we're trying to make is you might not be on the tax, like you don't have to pay you don't have to pay the tax the way that the business owner has to.
Right.
You don't have to run the system of the business, but you have to carry yourself like an entrepreneur. Yeah. Because you're coming into an area, like I grew up here.
Well, you represent the business you're standing.
Right. You have to learn the skills of entrepreneurship, even if you don't have the risk of entrepreneurship. And some of the bigger lessons that I've learned is that resiliency. Like there's going to be down times where the things you thought were going to absolutely crush the market just don't. They miss the mark fully. And maybe it was the system itself was bad. Maybe it's the offer was bad. Maybe it's the audience was wrong. Maybe it's the way you phrased it was wrong. One of the biggest things is when you're going through school as a chiropractor, you learn tons of neuroanatomy. You learn tons of systems. And so you just kind of bloviate. You just talk.
Wow.
And one thing I learned early on is that generally the patient in front of you does not care how smart you are. They want one thing. Can you help them?
They want help.
That's all they want. And so if you can give clarity of like, I can help you because of this reason, very clearly, it's like, it's this simple. You've shown me this, that's where we're going to get you. It makes it so much easier. That there's a bunch of stuff you have to kind of market test. You have to communicate. You have to learn those hard lessons. And you have to screw up a lot.
So being such an integral part of that business, you don't own it, and that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you also get an opportunity to treat it as if it's your own because you want customers to come back. And when the whole business does well, you benefit, the owners benefit, and all of that. So to me, that's a good thing.
Correct. And it's an awesome team environment.
Yeah.
We are all about what's wonderful is we have multiple doctors at this practice. So we get to be working together constantly on the same cases. We can encourage each other. We can back each other up. We can say like, oh, well, you know what? We kind of missed on that point. Let's just like dial that point in. Patient starts getting great results. We know why.
One of the biggest things about entrepreneurship, and I think you'll find, is I've learned about having to be flexible. Mm-hmm. So at all levels, I could have filled out a whole form with a client. What do you want? What kind of services? And then we show up to photograph a big event, and it's absolutely nothing what they told us. They changed, forgot to tell the photographer. Now I don't have the gear I need. Flexibility is I hand my keys to my assistant, go get those lights. They're in the back room. Here's where they're at, blah, blah, blah. Get back here as soon as you can. I'm going to start this job. And you just do it. You stand there and get mad at them, but they'll never use you again. Just because there was tension, and that's all they're going to remember. Yep. So you make it happen, or you figure out how to make it happen with what you have if there was a change. Sometimes it's client's fault. Heck, sometimes it's mine. Flexibility. But also flexibility on a huge level. We were a huge architectural photographer in the area. So I shot for builders, architects, home interior decorators, designers, painters, flooring guys, cabinetry, all of those. Builder Architect magazine for years on the cover. I think 14 years I was on the cover every month. And got to be a part of the Contractors and Builders Association, which is merged now with Tampa, and it's one big group. But 2008, the housing market crashed, and I lost over 1,000 clients. They vanished, out of business, closed. I didn't get paid for jobs. I was on a job, and the marketing girl came to me crying, bless her heart. And I was, oh my God, what's wrong? They just fired me. And then she starts to walk away, pivots, and goes, oh yeah, they told you to leave too. So I packed up my gear, and
a wild way to go.
Now I'm disappointed. And of course, I never got paid for any of that. 80% of the job was done. Because of who I am, I gave them the work. I gave it to them anyways. They're struggling. They've had a massive loss. I've had a massive loss. Use these images to market your product. I hope it helps you get down the road. Sure. So being flexible, I came home. My wife and I worked together, and I looked at her and said, Tina, we've got to change. I said, we need to go low dollar, high volume. How about school portraiture? And we had one little tiny school that I was doing because I knew somebody that knew somebody. And it's like, all right, so we figured it out. So we had some experience. I went to another school down the road and that I knew very well, and I didn't get the job initially. They thought I was too small to handle it. Well, the national company that they hired did such a horrific job that while they were there photographing, the headmaster called me. I could hear them working in the background and said, will you interview tomorrow? So it was that bad. So I did a big dog and pony show and made a bag with candy in it and pocket folders, and whatever was in my PowerPoint was also in their folders, and I presented to the whole board, and we got the gig. But the idea is that flexibility and change is what's needed. I hardly do any architectural anymore. If someone asks, I'll go out, but I'm not just beating the pavement.
Yeah, being able to be adaptable, flexibility, adaptability. That's from the neurologic perspective. That's what it would be, is how adaptable can you be to the given circumstance?
So you've already mentioned it, but it doesn't have to be work related. Who's influenced you the most in life?
Probably my dad, quite honestly.
Nice.
Yeah, he and I have a really good relationship. I was talking to someone about this the other day. It's like when you're a kid, your dad knows everything.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager, your dad knows nothing. And then when you become a dad again, when you're an adult, your dad knows everything again.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now. Okay. And so like my dad knows a lot. And he did a really good job of instilling values in myself and my sister to really achieve high heights. One thing he always said consistently over my childhood was, Ethan, I have to decrease so that way you can increase. And he just always prioritized that. It was like, he knew his time was going to be limited. He's still alive, but he knows that he's going to die before me, Lord willing, right? He wants me to outlive him, and he wants me to succeed further than he ever succeeded. When I was a kid, I told him really young, I was like, I want to do what you do. He did kitchens and countertops for 40 years.
Awesome.
And I told him, I was like, Dad, I want to do what you do. He goes, no. You're going to do something else. You have to do something better. You have to. You're made for something better.
Cool.
And he put that on me right away. And I'm sure so he influenced me more than probably anyone else in my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I had a stepdad that influenced me, and my dad as well. My dad taught me things on how to manage things, take care of things, and back up my boat trailer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dad's
and my stepfather, he delivered bread every day except Sundays for 40 years. Up at 3 a.m. At the depot, loaded his truck, home at 4, in bed no later than 7, up at 3 for 40 years.
Yep. Talk about work ethic.
Talk about hard work.
Yep.
And that's what he taught.
That's an unconventional sleep schedule too.
Yes,
That's
it is.
8 hours starting at 7 a.m.
Yes, he did.
But he got his sleep.
He got it, and he did it. And he would sometimes come home, and of course, Sunday, there was nothing left of the poor guy. You know, he was there. I love that. All right, so what advice would you give someone considering if they're thinking about starting a healthcare practice? What advice do you think you would have?
Well, first off, go get those certifications. Make sure that you're licensed.
Hello.
Go earn the degree there.
No doubt about that.
Absolutely. So anyone who's already in that, right? You're a student coming out of school. You're a healthcare professional who's trying to transition to a second career, anything like that. One thing is figure out what your niche is supposed to be. One of the biggest things that we encountered, we hit a huge struggle because we started Cerebral in 2024. I joined in right on the ground, just off and running. Right out of school, I joined into the startup practice.
Nice.
I knew it was going to be tough. Didn't know how tough. Hurricanes came through Florida in 2024. Decimated our practice. Made our practice building was fine, but every one of our patients got hit by it.
Same here.
We lost almost all of our patient base.
Yeah, we lost all our clients too.
Yeah, and so I'm
temporary. At
that time I'm a dad with 2 kids, 1 on the way. We are stressed, strapped for cash, and struggling. And and there was this moment where it's like 3 a.m. and I'm just in my in-laws' living room because that's where we were living at the time. Because fresh out of school, you can't pay rent or anything.
We've all done it. It's all good.
So it's just part of that. And I'm just Bible open, just praying, just bawling, trying to figure this thing out, and letting God run this, and just gave it all to the Lord. What happened is I didn't create it, but I was formulating what my archetype is, what my avatar is, who I'm trying to serve. That person came up with that image, and that's the pediatric or dysautonomia population. Okay. Pediatric, to make sure that C-sections and forceps vacuum deliveries do not cause neurologic disruption and set people under the perfect storm, leading into ADHD, sensory processing disorder, and autism in the future. Dysautonomia, because often those things that happen early on in life stack up, crash the nervous system, and lead to things like dysautonomia. Wow. Higher propensity that infection takes root for a long run. Higher propensity that brain health takes a run and takes a nosedive where dementia and Alzheimer's come over the long run. How can I help those two populace? If I can do that, I can make some of the biggest impact in healthcare. That was my avatar. If you're going to be a healthcare professional, you have to have that vision. And then you have to translate your advanced knowledge into marketplace knowledge. Keep it simple. Make sure people understand what's going on. When you get long form like this, go crazy. Go nuts. Do a 3-hour podcast and break down all the neurology, all the science. Be a nerd.
Right.
But when you're talking one-to-one with the person who's trying to figure out if you can help them, understand them. Understand where they want to go. Understand where they are. Understand what you can do to help them get there. Be selfless in the way you serve them. And then everything else will fall back into place because you keep the main thing the main thing.
So I've always said this. I taught a class to other photographers, and it was actually called Actually Care. How do you get your clients? Actually care.
Actually care.
You're not just running them through. They're somebody that came to you for help, and to me, that's an honor.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not changing lives physically, but emotionally, I have an emotional product. That's what this is. It's your family members and so on. And I've mentioned it before. A client will call. I shot their wedding years ago. We're sitting next to, because we're not video, all these file boxes are people's negatives. That's how long I've been in business. People's weddings. Just recently, I had someone call. Someone passed away, and they needed a specific image. That
was not in the studio with us. He's got this giant rack that's wall to wall, 8 foot tall, 10 feet across of negatives. Is what he's gesturing to.
Yes,
right now.
it is. And thank you. And at some point, I need to do something with all that. But people still come in for it. So I hold on to it because I actually care.
Absolutely.
And in their need, they needed an image for a funeral service. And obviously, I don't charge for that. As a matter of fact, I cried as I handed it off to them because they were beautiful people. And when my clients hurt, I hurt. They're a part of my life. And so actually care. You
Actually
just
care.
and learn your craft. If you want to be a rock star, you got to know how to play that guitar inside and out with your eyes closed while you're ordering food on the.
That's right. It has to be second nature.
Right, exactly. I've talked about that.
Has to be.
All right, quick sponsor, just something simple, guys. It's me, Rob Moorman. For over 30 years, Moorman Photographics has been creating professional portraits for families, executives, schools, and businesses throughout the Tampa Bay area. Learn more at moormanphoto.com. All right, guys, we're going to have fun with this. We're going to shut it down, but not totally yet. We're going to do rapid fire, and then we're going to do some other questions as well. So just for kicks, well, before we do that, in health, what else do you want to throw in there? One final big health, what's going to change people's world? Go to the chiropractor?
Go to the chiropractor. Get yourself a good chiro, a good team working chiro who actually cares, actually wants to help you. It's not a churn and burn kind of situation, but one who listens to the root of your problem and helps solve that. That's who you want in your corner at all times.
I love that. All right. So what we're going to do is you'll get a chance for our listeners. Hang on a minute. He'll give you an opportunity to find out how to reach him and how to sign up to come in and see you and all of those things. Before we do that, what's that look like? So if someone wants to come see you, they go online, they find you, they sign up. What's the first appointment?
Yeah, so honestly, best thing to do is give us a call. That's 727-677-0001 for Cerebral Chiropractic Center. You'll get in touch with one of our chiropractic assistants. We have some wonderful team members here, and we don't use it with voice AI. These are real people that you're talking to. Right, we want to make sure we always keep it personal. You're not going to be talking to a robot on any of those things.
Okay, very good.
Nothing against them. There's a lot of uses for it, but we will be speaking to you in person.
We're considering a robot, but robots are for nights, weekends, and holidays.
That's right.
Otherwise, you're going to get us. But at least there's some form of
sense.
communication. So that's what we're doing. All right. Well, good. And spell your last name, because I know I got it wrong in my notes here. Go ahead. Dr. Ethan.
Dr. Ethan Supernant, and that's S as in Sam's, U-R, P as in Peter, R-E-N-A-N-T.
Perfect.
Dr. Ethan Supernant.
So if they go online and or call, they know to ask for you and
absolutely
get connected.
We'll be here for them.
And mention that they heard you on the Camera Dude podcast. Why not? I was just curious to see who comes from here and what happens. Let's go rapid fire.
Yeah, it's good. It's just so we know who to thank, right?
That's right.
Right? We always try to be thankful in it.
Well, we're in a networking group together, so, I need my little networking slips.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So we said a lot of things, and we're looking to help people in the headaches, migraines, dizziness, vertigo, dysautonomia, MTBI, TMJ, and brain fog spaces, as well as pediatric care.
I love that. All right. And all right, rapid fire. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Coffee or tea?
In the morning, coffee. Right before bed, chamomile tea, 100%.
Love it. I love chamomile tea. I have been drinking a ton of green tea. And I had coffee today, but I have backed off of it most of the time, and I'm drinking an organic green tea, simple, nothing in it, no sugars, no milks. I love it. All right, beach or mountains?
I married a Puerto Rican, so I'm supposed to say beach, but man, I love the mountains.
I like both. I'm a boater, a scuba diver, all of that my whole life. But at the same token, when you get up to the mountains, there's something about it. What's
nice about Puerto Rico is you get both of them.
True.
You get both mountains and rainforest.
I say our next recording takes place in Puerto Rico. What do you think?
I think I'll
pack all this up.
That's a great time. We'll take a trip.
Right. I'm done. I'm in. All right. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person, 100%. 4 a.m., easy to go.
Nice. Do you work out first thing in the morning?
Yeah, have to. Have to. There's no other time. I'm a dad of 3.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I just physically, it's not that I can't, I get up early all the time, but to physically just go for it that early, I need about 3 o'clock is I'm strong at 3 o'clock.
That's to be fair. 10 a.m. is my prime time. I can perform really well at 10 a.m., but I don't have an option.
Right. Yeah, I don't either.
You got to be working
which is
before those kids wake up.
Why I go at 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's about right.
Not at 4, though. All right. Favorite book?
Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabil Qureshi.
Nice.
I have read that book, I think, more than any other book I've ever had.
Okay.
That's a great one.
I'm going to look that up myself. Thank you. You and I have that in common. What's your favorite podcast? If you
I'm
have,
supposed to say camera dude, right?
well, you can, but whatever you want.
I listen I listen often to Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson.
Oh, very cool.
He's got some incredible guests on, and they think through a lot of really tough things.
All right, I'm going to jump in on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
As you know, when I drive to check on things at Sunburst, I have an 8-hour drive.
That's right.
I podcast like crazy.
Yeah,
man,
you
the whole
have to.
time. That and phone calls while I'm driving. Of course, it's hands-free, so don't panic, everybody. All right, best advice you've ever received?
It's from my grandpa, actually. It's attitude determines altitude.
Nice.
Attitude determines altitude.
All right, that is a good one. I've heard you say that at MPI.
That makes sense.
you
I
have.
say that one a lot.
Yeah. All right, one habit that contributes to success, to your success.
I'll have to pick two on this one because it's an
Please.
even split between them. And it's intentionality and consistency.
Wow,
Intentionality and consistency. If you can be consistently intentional, you nailed it.
then you've got it.
You got it.
All right, we have another set of questions, but before we do, I'm going to throw one in on you.
Please.
Tell my listeners, and we're not here to shove anything down anybody's throat, but how has your faith helped you get where you are today?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's...
Maybe start at the beginning. Where did you and how did you become faithful?
Yeah, so I became a Christian when I confessed that Christ was my Lord at around 5 or 6 years old.
Wow. Okay. Early.
Yeah, and in many times you'll hear toddlers and kids say that they love Jesus, and you're like, yeah, you're a kid. What do you? I mean, you don't know much, and that's probably true. I didn't know much, but thinking back to my character, even as a kid, I really always strive to do the things that please the Lord. I slipped up, screwed up tons and often.
Me too.
But that's what's wonderful about the gospel is that it's not about who you are when you come to Christ. And it's not even about who you become while you're in Christ, because it has nothing to do with what you've done, and it's everything to do with what He's done. Since He already did it for me, I know that I can have peace in my salvation. And then from there, it was just learning more about Him. What does it look like to be faithful? And spend the time in the Word, listen to incredible pastors, listen to incredible people. And God has put some great people in my life to move me in the right direction.
Perfect. I love what you said. Everything you said there kind of summed it up, because so many people feel that it's a works-based situation or you have to earn it.
You got to clean it up before you meet
Right.
Jesus. And it has nothing to do with that. In fact, everything that you do, all the works you do to try to achieve salvation are like, the Bible calls them dirty rags.
Right.
It means nothing in the grand scheme. It's to serve the Lord.
And it doesn't mean, some people will misunderstand, it doesn't mean we're bad people. In a sense, from here on earth, looking at one another, we've all done good. We all have the ability to do light things and dark things in life, every one of us. But what it does mean is that we can't earn it or work for it. So face to face, most of my friends are great human beings. They help each other. They do all of that. But the fact is, in comparison to His glory, it's nothing. It's but filthy rags.
The Bible says that for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And so it does seem to be, by the Bible's proponent, that people need Christ because of the fallen state we're in. And that we cannot achieve it because we wouldn't even be looking for salvation should He not change our hearts first. So Jesus says, when the Pharisees called Him and say, why do you call me good? There's none good but the Father. So if there's none good but the Father, and for all of sin and fallen short of the glory of God, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord,
Yeah.
we might be bad people with the hope of salvation in the goodest of people, Jesus Christ.
You know, there isn't even anything else to say. You just nailed it. Are you sure you don't preach on Sunday? I'm not sure.
I teach the kids at my church.
There you
I
go.
do.
All right.
I do. Love that.
I did missionary work in prison for 21 years.
Wow, that's honorable.
Polk County Prison, a long time. And no, I wasn't in there as a resident. I was visiting.
You were just hanging. You were
just
in there.
visiting.
This is something you did.
Yeah, Kairos. I'm going to give it a plug. KairosPrisonMinistry.org, and they're in 500 prisons across the nation. Recidivism rate is 85%. If they go through Kairos, it drops to 30. If they stay involved in Kairos, come back and serve like us outside volunteers do, it drops to 12%.
Yeah.
So God's changing lives. All right, hey, so everybody scrolled on now because we started talking about godly things.
The faithful few stuck around.
Yeah, all right, let's do this. Bernard
Those who the Lord
Pivot
calls.
and James Lipton questions, all right?
Okay.
This can be fun or serious, it says. So, hey, what's your favorite word?
Sesquipedalianist.
Oh, way above my pay scale. Go ahead, tell me.
Means being fond of big words.
I like that. All right, thank you. I'm going to use that if I can pronounce it. What's your least favorite word?
Can't.
Nice.
Can't.
All right. I see that in you. That's why I like you. Your energy, your strength, your forward motion, your desire to help others, your drive. No isn't an option in that aspect, So I could see that coming over into your healthcare, providing to others, your services, Can't? No, we're going to figure this out. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. What turns you on in life?
My wife.
Nice. All right. What turns you off?
Anyone who's not my wife.
Nice. All right. So it's definitely not me. Yeah, it's old bald guy sitting over here, No, I'm kidding. I'm glad for you. How long have you been married again?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
We are 29, believe it or not.
Congrats.
Thanks.
That is an incredible thing.
One of the best things I've ever done has been married.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I've ever done has been married.
That's right.
One of the most rewarding God-given gift that I've got in my life is being married.
Yep. What is it? A good wife is more precious than rubies.
Yeah,
The book of Proverbs says.
Absolutely. And I don't feel, don't get me wrong, I'm not downing myself, but I'm just blessed. Let me put it.
Absolutely.
I'll leave it.
Absolutely.
That way. Yeah. All right. What sound or noise do you love?
Genuinely love the sound of the church congregation singing praise,
Me too.
because I've heard almost all of them sing alone, and we're all terrible. But somehow when you put us all in the same room, we're actually good.
You become a choir.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it is incredible because none of us can sing. But I think, was it Psalm 101? Psalm 100 verse 1 says, make a joyful noise
Yes.
to the Lord.
Yeah.
I can't sing, so I'm making a joyful noise.
I love that. I was in a Christian band. I was the sound tech. Big 24-channel mixer. Back in the day when the mixer, I had to load it in the bed of my pickup. It was so big.
Jeez.
Now all the tech is so much smaller, like what we're using today. But having said that, the name of the band was Joyful Noise.
There you go.
And we played all over the city. They were awesome. All right. What sound or noise do you hate?
People chewing with their mouth open.
I get that a lot.
That is the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst sound.
All right. I do. I get that a lot on here. That's funny. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
This is one profession that I've seen a couple times where the guy he straps in these really tall towers and replaces the light bulbs so that way the planes don't fly into them.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, no.
Or they climb all the way up 400 feet or
Pass.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
and reinstall a light bulb. 100%. It'd be that.
Not much different than those guys hanging off the edge of a high-rise cleaning windows.
Yeah, that's just hot.
Hot,
That's
and
just
they don't pay me
hot.
enough to hang 1,000 feet or whatever that thing is
that
off
one's
of
just
the.
hot.
Yeah, no way. All right. What profession would you not like to do? We talked about that. What else? Anything else?
Probably, I think I would not want to be either in a submarine
Yeah.
or on an oil rig. I don't think I'd want to do either of those things. Those are tough.
No, there was an oil rig guy that stayed at Sunburst RV. He would come out, work on the rig for 3 months, and he would get weekends off and stayed in his RV with us because it was near where he needed to be. They work hard,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's 24/7.
I don't think I could be away from my family like that. I like my kids just a bit too much.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we go. Here's the plan. How do they find you again?
So you go to cerebralchiropractic.com and you can call us at 727-677-0001. You can also email us at care@cerebralchiropractic.com. Three best ways to get in contact with us, or talk to Rob and ask him to point you in our direction.
I'd be glad to do that because that's a referral through Network Professionals. So you can reach us at our studio, cameradude1@gmail.com. And or 727-527-1237. Call or text. I'll definitely get you in the right direction so you can meet Dr. Ethan. Guys, gosh, there's so many things to talk about. Will you commit to doing another one of these?
Yeah, we didn't even scratch the surface
I
of all the
know
stuff
we
we can
didn't.
come over.
And so what we'll do is we'll pick one health topic next time.
I love it.
And we'll dive in. So if you guys go to the
great idea.
Facebook page, let me know. What do you want to hear? What other topic do you want to hear from Dr. Ethan? Something we can get in that'll maybe help you or someone that you know.
Yeah.
And
comments, questions, conundrums, and snarks. Right?
yeah, I like that. Well said. All right, guys, closing comments here. Thank you for hanging out with us on the Camera Dude podcast. Remember to always reach out to those who have paved the way for your success. They are a great resource. Until next time, stay safe, be peaceful, and always look up for directions in life. Catch you on the next Camera Dude podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Camera Dude Podcast. Don't forget to visit us at cameradudepodcast.com for more episodes and exclusive content. Connect with Rob Moorman on moormanphoto.com to explore his professional photography. And when you're ready to hit the road, make memories at sunburstrvresort.com. Until next time, keep capturing moments and chasing dreams. See you on the next episode of the Camera Dude Podcast.